Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. So I've gotten a lot of messages and DMs and things like that with the market going up and some of these projects making big gains. People don't want to feel like they're FOMOing. They're like, should I buy now? Should I wait for a pullback? Where's a good level to buy? So this video, I'm going to go over a general technical analysis on a weekly time frame of the top 10 projects that I went over in my small cap video and one other one as well, to look at if I was going to use new money to enter the market, then where would I be looking at? What levels would I be looking at? And also, I want to look at the altcoin index here. So when I made that small cap video, we were down here, well below this blue line, and when I made ones in the past, it was over here. So it's still. I just want to point out, according to this index, which is a popular indicator that people look at for the kind of the temperature of the altcoin market overall, we're still in a range that's good for buying alts. Okay, the one bonus one that we're gonna look at is WASDR. So this is a project that, it's a vicious downtrend, just this candle after candle. And when it had this candle here, I finally saw it was like some kind of sell climax. And I even posted on Twitter about it on October 26th that it looked like it was forming a bottom pattern to me. And then I reshared it and said a second time, posted something about the fundamentals, how they had a lot of app downloads, and picture and loading, and that it looked like it was continuing up. So it has gotten, since that tweet, it's been 100% move up. Yeah, over 100% move. So the market cap is so low on this that it doesn't take much. So when you saw that big wick here and you were thinking for a reversal, and when the next week, when this big candle happened, that's the kind of things you want to see. And okay, so you missed some of that move. Yes, you did. But that's the kind of candle of reversals. And the other people, they know this project has fundamentals and the market cap was low. So this is what happened here. Look at how this candle opened so much above this one. You don't see that often in crypto. It gaps up, and that is because eager buyers. And what happened here was the candle closed. Other people saw this. So I actually was buying it more. I mean, I bought some here when I had said, but when the weekly close was approaching, I started buying that night, that late that afternoon, because I could tell this candle wasn't going to get sold off and come all the way down here, and that is bullish reversal. And then I was right, because see how it gapped up. Other people saw that and they were ready and eager to buy. So when then you had a pullback, obviously there's going to be some people taking profits and all those kinds of things. So look where the wick came down and the pullback. All right, and look at this wick here. It did not come down and touch that wick. So that leaves a gap, and you hear the term gap a lot, and there's a lot of different types of gaps and things like that. But a lot of pro traders, they look at that as a line in the sand where bulls and bears are going to meet. So when it doesn't get there and it wicks up, especially, then that's because people were eager to buy it and it didn't get down there and it wicked up. And if you look on a daily, it's just like two bull bars closing on their highs going up. So that's the kind of thing you want to see for continuation, especially if it closes above this wick, these two wicks here. That's where it's at right now, struggling, fluctuating at. If it closes up to here on this high, on this wick, then expect continuation from WASDR to go up. Now, if you get some sell-off, if it closes below this wick, especially if it closes red, then you could expect it to probably come down here and touch this gap again, probably somewhere in this area, somewhere from the breakout point to the gap. And with all these projects, what I would recommend is not picking one price and going all in. So say for this, if we don't continue to get continuation, and I'm going to say that a lot during this video, so 0.0032 to 0.0025, if we don't get continuation, if this candle closes like this, or especially above this little wick over here and this wick here, then look for WASDR to continue up. And Myria, I mean, what can you say about this candle last week? A God candle printed. Huge gain on this candle. Just the gain for the week on the candle was over 100%. So, great for everyone who was in Myria low down here. I mean, a vicious downtrend. And I knew about the project early in the spring, and I waited for the downtrend to subside before there was some signs of buying and started DCA into it. But you wanted to get in now. So this was such a parabolic move up. It doesn't surprise me that you got some immediate follow through, but that you're having some sell off. I mean, there's people in here that was buying a downtrend for a long time, and some people just happy to get out of it and make some money and stuff like that. So you see where this wick came down to, and look to the left, it came down to the body of that candle. So you can say that that was a gap that it closed. So, but it got bought up pretty quick. It wicked up. Now the candle is still red for the week. This weekly candle is going to be very important. If it closes red, especially if it closes like this, then expect it to range maybe in between this area, and maybe channel up, a tight channel up in between this range, possibly. Now, if it closes more towards its bottom, then maybe you could expect a wick fill to here at 0.02975. If you get maybe it closing towards its low and then a continuation candle, you know, you might get a gap fill here. You see these two double top wicks right here, and you can see the price of that. But if this candle closes green, and especially if it closes above this wick, and you see over here lines up with that wick, if we get some continuation up and it closes like up here, then I would say you probably want to buy. It's going to be a vacuum test up to here. I mean, this is such a strong candle. That's why I don't really see it coming down to these, touching these levels. I'm just telling you levels you might want to look for. If you say you had $1,000, you know, you could put one order here, maybe go for a double bottom on this wick again, possibly here, and then if you get continuation, maybe buy, you know, 200 there. You know, spread your orders out like that, but I wouldn't go all in at one price point. And this weekly close, I'm going to say this a lot for all these alts. These weekly closes are going to be important for a lot of these. Is it going to show continuation, or is it going to show maybe some indecision? Or I mean, what can you say about this chart? Just straight up. I mean, it's the history of it. You know, price discovery going up, bull bars closing on their highs, still getting continuation. So it has been parabolic. You know, at some point you would think it would have to have a pullback. You would think. So maybe you could say that it's in this channel, something like this here, and this is a place you could look at too if it pulls back to around where this channel line is. Sometimes, as far as a gap fill, you look over here. This is where this price would be at 743 or so. But, you know, once again, I would use that same kind of strategy. If you wanted to target this channel line, you know, put a little like window like that and put orders all through there. And if it wicks up, candles closing, like bull bars closing on their highs on the daily, like 2 in a row maybe, then maybe, you know, if some of these orders that didn't get picked up, then maybe go in with them there. Another place you can maybe look to DCA. If you're looking at this gap might fill there, then you could put some kind of like order block thing there at those price levels. But sometimes these projects are strong, and I know some people might be like, no, everything's going to have a pullback. Well, timing can be important, and I told people a lot, you know, I was paying attention to the whole crypto off market, and a lot of projects started to start in like late spring, early summer. And it's not uncommon. I look at charts all the time, crypto charts and researching projects. It's not uncommon at all to see a project come out and it just has this parabolic spike that just goes up really, really, really crazy for a while, and then it goes down, and then eventually a bear market comes and then it has a sell-off or whatever. But it doesn't have to have a pullback. So some of these projects like Ator and that other ones we're going to look at, you know, we'll see. You know, you have to make some decisions if you think they're, you know, because they're in price discovery. You have to think if the project is going to, you like the fundamentals, is going to keep going, then maybe DCA a little now. Look at these levels that we're talking about and pointing these videos. If price visits, like maybe keep limit orders there. What do you have to lose? If they don't get filled, then you don't lose anything. And watch the price action when it enters those levels, and make the best decisions you can. Also, like a God candle last week, big gain. After a vicious downtrend, but Chng had some success in this bear market. I mean, this was only April this year. It had some pretty decent prices and a nice uptrend. So strength in the market, bear market, you like to see those kinds of things. And then you had a nice downtrend. You could call this a falling wedge, you could call it a downtrend, and then an accumulation, bottoming pattern, and a last capitulation and taking out these stops. Doesn't matter what you call it. This candle lets you know right there that, you know, it's trying to reverse. And when you get this candle engulfing an outside bar of like, what's this, 12, 13, 14 count, I don't even know, something like that, taking out all those candles, you know, that's bullish reversal price action. And it doesn't surprise me, kind of like with Myria, that you're going to get some bullish follow through the next week, because there's been people that are, you know, wow, you got to take some profit off of that. But let's see where this wick went to. So right there, and we look to the left, it came down there, and it filled in through here fairly well, and filled right here. It's exactly where that is, where the top of that is. And it got bought up quick. It went up quick, and this candle's still red, so let's see how it closes. If it closes red, then I would say you have a pretty decent chance that maybe you could get some kind of double bottom with this wick going forward. If it closes green, and especially if it closes above this high and above this candle over here, which you see that wick at the top is almost exactly where that body is. If it closes above those two, then it's probably going to want to stretch out and reach up here to these highs, either this one or possibly even this one. If it closes red, the more on its low, the more that you could look at possibly lower prices. This gap fill here with these wicks, this could be a level that you look for to either double bottom or even go a little lower to fill those wicks, so you could put orders in there. Another place, if the price action down there looks kind of bearish, kind of like I talked about, continuation bars, bear bars closing on their lows, then you could probably you could expect a touch to this range here, because a lot of volume, a lot of price action here. So I would call that a level that will probably be hard to break down through, and I would look for there instead of those lows, and that's if it goes low. I mean, it's bullish. I mean, I think ultimately it's going to go up, but you might get some lower touches. But the fact that it touched this first gap fill right here and got bought right up, I mean, that's a sign of bullish momentum. But let's see how the weekly candle closes. If it closes above this, then you're probably looking at continuation and looking for something you can buy. And this has some targets of somewhere where it can stretch out and try to reach towards. All right, so here we have Mcade. And sometimes projects are kind of near and dear to your heart. You get into them when they first come out, you know about them, and there's not a lot of price action here. It's a newer project, and it looks like a odd chart kind of, but it tells you more than what we might think, because it's been volatile since it came out, which can be common with new projects, and it's just been in a great big range. It's a little hard to get a great chart of Mcade. They were listed on Mexc, and I mentioned this on their video. They actually delisted themselves, and they've been on some exchanges since then, but BitGet was the best one I could get for a USD pair. But I think you could get a chart that maybe is an ETH pair that goes back a little further, but we're going to stick to this one for the analysis, and you can see that it's closing, well, that it's just been in a big range. Like I said, been very volatile. And then, and I put this on Twitter. When this candle closed, I said it's closing above all these bodies. It was daily structure, then this was closing above a lot of bodies on the daily. That was a good sign. And then weekly, you get the continuation up, and look where this wick went. It went right to the body of that candle. So when I keep showing you guys these gap things, I mean, how many times can I keep showing you where these pullbacks come through these points of a gap of a wick or a body? Like, I'm not, this comes from somewhere. Like, I've been taught these things, and the fact that this candle is green now, continuation up. Now we want to see it close above this wick. Because see this wick here and this wick here, they're like the exact same level. And we tried to break out above that and got sold off. It's not a surprise. That happens the first time a lot of times. So if this candle closes here, then watch out, because Mcade is something that I think can really take off. I think these are kind of weak highs up here. I think it's more important to take these out and a continuation candle after this, closing up here with a wick down. Why? Because a lot of people don't know about this project. This project starts making noise with the fundamentals and the team that it has. I don't want to get into fundamentals too much on this video, but this has just been ranging its whole time. It could get into price discovery and really take off. Playable games are 3 UL, 3 bull, whatever you call a token. So this is another one of those that I've been in from the start. It's kind of near and dear to my heart. I was in like down here before it even got listed on Mexc. I bought on a DEX on Trader Joe's on AVAX when it first came out. I heard about it, and I mean, it looks so good. And then the pullback was expected. And I'll be honest, when this candle happened, I thought it was going to keep going up. But then it wasn't like I FOMO'd a bunch in or anything like that. But when you got that engulfing, I was like, all right, well, probably that's not a good sign. Probably going to be a pullback. And you did. But you got this wiki double bottom here. And I posted this on Twitter. Let's see, October 24th, not that long ago. Pointed that out, and that you're seeing a nice, I think it had bottom. It was a little late to the party because some things had started to pump already. And then another 100% gain. So nice reversal candle here. You get another test down low, doesn't make a double bottom, goes back up, closes bullish above that, and then look at that bullish continuation. So here's where we want to take out right here. See, and that's where the body is at, where the prices is right now. It's not an accident. This is the level it's been bouncing around, struggling. If it closes here where this wick is on its high, it's taking that out. It's going to be a vacuum test up here, and this is a, I don't say this is a weak high, but I think it'll be more of a vacuum test up to here. Playable games, the fundamentals in this project are great. Not a lot of people are talking about it. I don't see a lot of major influencers. I think this and Mcade, if they get some continuation, are going to keep going up. So we want to see it closing above this wick, and if it does, I think we're going to continue to go up. Now, if it doesn't, where could we look to possibly get in at? Well, you got some some gap fills to see here, and that's going to be 008895. And you know, the price action, like I've talked about in a few of these other ones, if it's continuous bear bars on the low, it looks like bearish price action, then maybe set orders down here and maybe go for this next gap fill. And you could get some gap fills like that if it turns around. Maybe it's forming a wedge pattern, you could get another push down, but it looks pretty bullish to me, especially if you get this close above this wick. Then I like for it continuation up and to reach towards the highs. Here we have Orai, or Orai. So big bullish candle, like a lot of these. You know, you can even look down here and say maybe you had a little inverse head and shoulders pattern going on. Big bullish candle breaking out of it, like Chng and Myria, some of these other projects breaking above. Oh, I mean, this one might be the best one out of all of them, breaking above. I bet that's like 20 candles and closing. And then the good continuation on the week of that AI pump. And you could expect that to get sold off, those little pumps like that. But look, it came up here and it took out this high over here. And like with a lot of these candles, I'm not trying to sound like a broken record, but let's see how we get continuation. If this candle closes red, then I would say that you have a decent chance of it coming down and maybe filling this gap here. See, it already came down here with this wick, and look to the left. This gap right here is where it filled. So where this candle closes this week is big. If you get a bearish candle, then I would look that you might could get a deal on Orai here at 311, 312 if it comes down and fills that gap. But if it closes bullish, especially over this high, there's not really any structure over here that would tell me that it wouldn't want to continue up, especially AI is just hot fundamentally or whatever. And once it takes this out, and it wanted to stretch up there, it wanted to try. If you take this high out over here, I kind of consider this weak. Like when things are close like this is all kind of the same one. And if it goes there, it's going to reach up here and it's going to stretch for that. I think this has a lot of potential. AI is hot. Look at these candles, bull. I mean, it has been breaking out for a little while. You had the outside bar bullish reversal there. And I'm not even going to act like I bought it at $1.70. I bought it after this candle. It got my attention, but hey, at least I got it. And that's what you got to think about with some of these projects. Like, yeah, you think, well, I don't want to buy now. Candles are green. Sometimes that's telling you that it's going up. The market's not always reversing. The conditions we've had this last several years, it's just been a big rangy conditions, rangy to down. So it gets people always thinking it's going to reverse, and it will reverse eventually. But you have to look for where it's going to make a range on a higher time frame. Could it be here? Could it stop here and make a range and come back down and touch this levels? It could, but this is just really bullish price action. This one little red candle, and it was the doji. I mean, if you were getting bull, bear, pull back, yeah, sure, that's rangy price action. This isn't rangy price action. So when you're looking at the next rank where it could form a range, you're looking at up here, and that's how I assess these things. So once again, this weekly close is going to be very important for Orai. If it like I said, this gap already got filled, but if it closes red, then I think you can get it at least around here, maybe even somewhere here. If we get just real bearish sentiment, I'm wrong about the market, then you could look for it down here around this range here. And these prices, where these candle bodies are, I don't think you're going to see these lows again. All right, cracking in the top 5 now, VRA. I should just say buy and end the video right there, to be honest with you, when it comes to VRA. But I mean, let's look at what we got going on here. So strong move up. This happened several weeks ago after this tight channel down. I mean, it showed even back here some strength breaking above those highs. But see, this is a good example of what I was talking about. See, it breaks above those highs, and you're thinking maybe continuation, but you want to wait for that next candle and see a doji with a red doji, and sometimes things just don't continue. That's why I keep talking about the next candle a lot. But anyway, when it comes to VRA, this you can call it a wedge or whatever, parabolic wedge or anything like that. But then this bullish reversal candle. Let's see where this wick came down to right here. If you look left, right about where that wick fill is there. And then a higher low double bottom, bullish candle, reversal up. This candle, we want it to close over this wick. If it closes over this wick, look for VRA to just have like print green candle after green candle up and reach toward these highs and probably beyond. Because VRA, it's gonna, I mean, not all projects come back from the bear market for sure. Many of these projects will not reach the all-time highs they did last market cycle, and most things have the biggest gains in their first market cycle, and that those two things go hand in hand. Not financial advice. This is something that I think will reach its all-time highs and eclipse that as well. So VRA, you know, if you want to try to get lower prices, you can try down here where these lows are. If some kind of bearish sediment happens with the candles, or you know, start having bearish candles, the lowest price you like these gap fills here around these price levels, 0.042. But if we close above this, especially, then I like it to just continue up. And sometimes you get these projects that just a slow channel up. It's called a small pullback bull trend, and it never gives anyone a great entry to get in. You get like one little bear candle, and then people don't really like, well, that's not much, maybe we're getting more, and then the next candle is just green, and it's just, you know, I could see that happening with VRA, but we'll see. I like this project. I think it's going to have great gains in the bull market. All right, Rio, very popular project. I see a lot of big small cap influencers always talking about Rio. So you see, going for a while, it's big range, and this is what shakes people out of the market. They lose interest, whatever. But you get this basically outside, well, you can double bottom, engulfing, closing on its high. You know, good sign it was going up, and then, you know, big candle, big gains from Rio, and now it's at a crucial level right here. So you see with this candle body closed right there, and you look to the left, it actually closed just below these bodies. The wick got up there right to above the bodies, and see, this is where it's been struggling. It's been bouncing around this week in a trading range. Let's see where price pulled back to, where this wick is. Right there, and we look to the left, look, is a logical place for the gap fill to come down and pull back to where that candle body is. You know, these things are not an accident, guys. So I'm not trying to sound like a broken record, but this candle is really important for Rio. If it closes up here by its high, especially these highs over here are important, especially if we can get over that one. I think we need to get over that one too. So if it can close over these, then it's going to stretch up here for this, and who knows. This narrative for this token is really hot. A lot of people like it. A green close is great. A green close above this, then I would definitely say, you know, probably buy. Don't look for a pullback, but just say it pulls back, say it's red, and you get some range in price action, and maybe we go down a little bit lower. Where could we go? So you might look for here where it double bottomed in that area, there at that price, or the next gap fill would be here at that price. And then if it looks like bearish candles on the daily closing on their lows, and on the weekly at that point, you know, as I say that, the candle pumps up a little bit, then this would be the gap fill, the third one. And if you go below that, then I would just say in this general range where price was in here probably. I don't know, we're going to see those lows again. What you see on the bigger time frame, it was making, look, higher lows, higher highs. So I like this token to continue to go up. Let's see how this weekly close is, but it's going to be important for Rio. It's staying green. Like I said, it already came down, pulled back, bought up quick, wick up, filled that gap. You know, nothing's been a surprise so far with it. Let's see what this weekly candle closes. So Naka, it's an interesting project within itself. It's been out longer than some of these other ones, but it's still been parabolic. So some of the things I'm about to say, technically, you know, I love Naka and Nakamoto games as a project. So I don't want anybody to say, you know, well, you missed out. But no, I had Nakamoto games and I was DCAing it. But I didn't go in as heavy as I did on some other projects, because what I saw here, it was double topping here with a rising wedge on the right shoulders. That's a very bearish pattern, especially on upper time frames. I didn't fade it, but I didn't buy it as much on the run up, because I thought that pattern could be forming. But you know, it clearly, you know, it's breaking above these highs in continuation, so I'm not so worried about that now. And this is what you get with projects sometimes. You know, it's kind of like Ator, where we looked at that, where it's just a straight, I mean, look at this parabolic move up, that, and and this is what I'm talking about, filling gaps. Where did this wick come down to? So these gaps did not even get filled here, and it was just bullish momentum up, and you still had that. Where could you get in at Naka at? Well, maybe we could get a pullback to here, 06059, possibly, if it runs out of steam a little bit. But the thing with Naka, it's already kind of broken. It's all-time highs. Assuming this chart goes back to its all-time highs, it's broken that, closed above it, and it's getting continuations. Especially, I'm not trying to sound like a broken record. You get continuation with this candle closing green, especially if it's up close to its high, then you probably just want to buy. But if you're looking for pullback, good prices, this would be the first place. This gap 0814, and down here would be the next place, and then here on this gap fill here would be 038 would be the absolute lowest. I could imagine if we had some kind of bearish conditions, or maybe that some kind of bearish conditions, and then that double top rising wedge ended up playing out. This is all a fake out, but I don't really see that. I mean, it looks strong. So this candle closes green, then like a lot of these things, I'm saying it's probably going to keep going up. Do games for a living. Another project's very near and dear to me. I got in early in the inception, well over here. See, I posted on Twitter about it. Let's see, this was back in May. I already said I've been talking about it a lot, posting 100% gains already. And this is one of those projects that was just strong from the start, just fundamentals. This is kind of what I'm talking about with the small pullback bull trend, where you just don't get great entries. I mean, that was a decent one, but anyway, it's hard to even draw any kind of structure. There's not a lot of price history. You can kind of try to maybe draw some kind of channel. It's just say this is a trend line at the bottom, at least, to see if maybe we can see if there's a trend line that maybe it'll come down and touch, that we could look to. So maybe something like this. You draw this out on the chart and see if price comes down to here. This is be the gap fill here, but see, look, it didn't even pull back to wick to try to fill those. Just straight continuation up. This thing, every time I look at my phone, it's green saying 10% every day. So this is a strong project. This is and it's in price discovery. So I'll tell you, because I had been in it for a while, and I had an order set at 0021 to sell at these highs, because you see these levels over here is kind of a logical place, and it wasn't a huge portion, but like maybe 15 to 20% of what I had in the project. And when it blew through with that candle and closed above all these, I listened to myself, the same things that I'm telling you guys now. That's what I did. Where I had sold that order, I put an order to buy back right there, and actually a little bit above where I bought at sold at 0021 with more money. And look where this wick came down to and filled at right there. And so my order got filled and I was back in it, and then bullish continuation. And then I had another order there in case it came back down and double bottomed, and look where this came down to, and gave you another chance to get in. And then after that candle closed there, I bought one last time, going over structure, and now I don't know, this thing might just be off. But places you could set orders, this gap fill and this trend line, and DCA orders in those ranges. And like I said, if you get some kind of bullish bearish candle, if you get a shooting star, especially a bearish one, possibly an outside bar that closes bearish, then maybe hold off, and then if we get some kind of market swing down and target this level in this zone for these, if you get like real bearish action and things starting to go to the lows, and you could look in this range probably to buy some. But this is a strong project, strong fundamentals, strong on chart, price discovery, right time, right place, so I wouldn't recommend fading games for a living. Masq. So we all know I like this project. So this is the Masq versus ETH chart, and I found that this is the best chart to look at it at, because it's not listed on a major exchange with a USD pair. So this is what I've gone, and earlier in the bear market, this is the level I was looking to buy it at when price was up here. You see these wicks kept touching down there, and I got some orders down here at the bottom. And then look, same thing I'm talking about, breakout above these range. Look where these wicks came down. If you look to the left, it's it's right here where these are. Not quite as clean. Like I said, it's an ETH pair chart. But now you got the wick up, reversal, engulfing. It would be great if we took out this high and closed as well too. I mean, looking bullish for Masq. You know, I posted in the Masq price discussion on Telegram that this was the chart I went off of, and what I thought was happening, that this was the top of the range and it was coming down and making a new range, and that I was buying, and sure enough, that's what it did. This was the top of the range. It came down here, it tested that top of the range and went up, and that's where I was buying. I'm sure I said it on Twitter as well, that I was buying when the price was around that level. And now Masq is looking strong up. Let's see if it closes on its high. Let's see if it closes here and takes this candle out. I mean, you have that little wick up there, but yeah, there's not much stopping it from going up here to the all-time highs. This project, I'm seeing more people talk about it. I mean, obviously you guys know that I like it and I'm bullish on it, but I'm seeing it mentioned more and more. People are starting to notice that it's got too much going on to have this small of a market cap. So anyway, that's how I would DCA it. Well, so I guess if you're looking for this gap fill here where this wick is right there, and this is on the ETH chart, like I said, you could look for that price, and if it goes that way with bearish candles, then look for this double bottom here where this level is. That's what I would look at for Masq. So like I said, it's in financial advice, just how I'm doing it and how I've looked at the markets and how I've had success and how I've been taught to do things. And I think, you know, anybody who's followed me for a while, you know, have seen that I've proven I'm not somebody that deletes tweets that weren't right. I don't ever delete anything or post things after the fact. You know, I post things before, and I'm always, you know, Telegram or Twitter or whatever, I've always posted when I'm buying stuff. So, you know, I'm not hiding from my predictions or anything like that. So that's how I see it, and the general technical analysis on these top projects. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Later.